Hello and welcome to the India Autism Center podcast. This is a special edition all the way from Goa. We are at the Purple Fest 2025, and the guest that we have here in this episode is one of the Purple ambassadors at the Purple Fest, Sadiya Bandodkar. Uh, and this is a special episode because Sadiya is deaf. So she'll be talking to us in Indian Sign Language, and we have Kinjal who will be interpreting for her. So I'm sure you guys have never seen this kind of of podcast before, not just at the India's Autism Center channel, but perhaps nowhere else because this is rare. Sadhya, thank you for joining us at the India Autism Center podcast. You've been selected as a Purple Ambassador by the Goa government for the Purple Fest 2025. How do you feel, and what is your message to the fellow deaf community on having been chosen on this platform?
I did not believe that I will be selected as a purple ambassador. I never thought about it. Like, this is the first time that I've got this opportunity. So I thank Guru Prasad sir for that, to make me the purple ambassador. I thank him so much for that.
Thank you so much, Sadhya. For our viewers here, Guru Prasad sir is the Chief Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities in the Goa government. And he's also the main organizer of the Purple Fest, along with Taha sir, who's the Deputy Commissioner, and the Goa government in general that is doing fantastic work here in organizing the Purple Fest. Sadhya, we would now like to come to your life story. You were born deaf, and
Yes, I was born deaf.
could you tell us a bit about the challenges you faced in education and what was life like at school being a deaf person?
I was born deaf. And my parents were worried about me when they saw that, they thought they wanted a hearing child. They thought that they did not realize that I was deaf. But later on, when on my birthday, there were a lot of noise around, there were a lot of crackers and a lot of things happening, and I was just smiling, but my mom had a doubt that time that she's maybe not able to hear. And then we moved to Mumbai. We went to a hospital there, and the doctor there told my mom that she cannot hear anything. What did happen? The doctor said that, do not worry, get the child here. He said, you see, there are so many disabilities. There are people with or people on wheelchair. There are people who are blind. So that's fine. Do not worry about your child being deaf. And there they told my parents that, your child is born deaf. And my parents started crying. They found it very difficult to accept. They were worried about me. And the doctor told them that, if she works hard, she'll grow in life, she'll progress. And she gave a lot of positivity to my parents. And slowly I progressed well. I was doing better. My mother felt that I'm progressing well. Then there were other friends and families who kept on saying that, oh, that's a deaf child, there's no future for this child. My mom ignored everything and she kept working, pushing me ahead. So that's how a deaf person like me is developed so much, has is grown so much. That's from my mother.
Right. No, I think a mother plays a very important role in any disabled child getting a normal life in that sense. Apart from your mother, the other thing that really empowered you, I'm sure, was Indian Sign Language. What was the process of learning Indian Sign Language for you? And when did you decide or your family decide that you should be taught Indian Sign Language? And could you walk us through that, please?
So I was not much aware about. I just knew, not. I did not know that it was like I signed very normally. That, some gestures, some words in school and all. I joined the Goa Association of the Deaf, and that's where I started picking up signs, ISL signs. I learned so much from them. Then I saw it on TV, I saw it on movies and the videos. That's how my confidence increased.
And beyond that, did you have a coach? How does one learn Indian Sign Language? If there's anybody who's really, watching in the audience today and they want to learn Indian Sign Language, how can they learn Indian Sign Language?
So you can either meet your deaf friends if you are deaf, and you can meet your deaf friends and learn through them. That's what I feel is the best way to learn from the deaf community.
Okay. But are there any other platforms through which somebody can learn Indian Sign Language?
Yeah, there are. Like in Panjim, there is a course in Goa University where there is a course going on in sign language. People can learn from there.
Okay. That's wonderful. And in fact, I would urge all of you to also check out the Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center, SLRTC, which does a lot of sign language courses, both short term and long term, which can be very useful for to learn Indian Sign Language. Uh, but coming back to your own life, today you are a successful fashion entrepreneur. You're a fashion designer. How did you end up getting into the world of fashion, and what are the challenges you faced as a deaf person running your own business?
Yes, it was very tough. I couldn't hear what people were speaking. I just signed. So 6 months in Panjim, there was I couldn't communicate anything. It was very difficult. There was I had no confidence in the course. I thought I'll leave the course and I'll move back. But then mother said that no, you go continue, and she helped me out, and that's how I became better. And then when I started working in the fashion gown, I designed the gowns and all for the Miss World and all, Miss Goa and all programs. I write and communicate with them because people, some of them do not know ISL. Sometimes I sign, sometimes I use some gestures and I write. That's how I communicate with them.
Right. This was in your fashion course that you were saying is what you're talking about?
Yeah, barriers were in the course.
Okay. But in your daily basis with clients, you said that you write to clients, etc. But do you see any kind of discrimination as a deaf entrepreneur as well?
Sometimes, yes. They people do not like to write, and then I have to depend on my mother or depend on somebody else. I want to be independent. I want to do it myself. If people can understand my signs, it will be the best.
No, of course. And don't you think every school should teach Indian Sign Language to each and every kid so that everybody really knows sign language, and being deaf is not even a disability anymore if everybody knows ISL.
Yeah, very true.
So, Sadia, I wanted to also ask you one question that I'm sure there are a lot of deaf people who might be watching this episode. And a lot of deaf entrepreneurs, a lot of deaf people think that, let's take the easy way out by taking up a government job or, something which can give you a pension, etc. Not many people go towards the path of entrepreneurship and risk taking. What inspired you to become an entrepreneur? And what would be your message to other deaf people?
Right. So my future, my dream, government job, private job, I was never interested in that. I always wanted to do a business, and I was confident about it. So my mother already had her business. She taught me how to go about with it, and I had that confidence. I good in drawing. I was good in fashion. I was good in all the designing part. So I was confident, and then I was also working hard. So uh, a lot of people say that okay, a deaf person is doing. I go to a lot of platforms, and I've been going and showing my work with the smile, and I show them. I explain them what is happening. I talk about the money part, and I sell my stuff. So I'm confident enough. That's fine.
No, that is wonderful. And I'm sure you're running a great business. Tomorrow, you're also participating in the Purple Fashion Show, I believe you told me. Can you tell us a bit more about the Purple Fashion Show that's happening at the Purple Festival?
Yes, right. So tomorrow, that's 9th October, in the evening, uh, there's a ramp walk. There's a ramp walk where I'll be involved in.
So, Sadhya, when you realized that it was much later during a birthday party that everybody caught on that you were deaf. And, obviously, whenever somebody gets diagnosed with a disability in the family, the first reaction is disappointment. For example, even when my parents for the first time realized that I cannot walk, one of the first reactions was to hope for a miracle by going to various doctors, godmen, etc., hoping that there's some miracle through which Nipun will start walking in that sense. What was your society's, your family's immediate reaction, and what was society's reaction to a deaf person being born in your family in that sense? And how did your family eventually overcome it?
All right. So my mother, when she went to the hospital and the doctor told her He's saying no, she should speak. She should speak. That's what the girl, the hospital, the doctor told her at the hospital, that she's deaf. She'll have a good future. Do not worry. A lot of deaf, they should be put names and all. Don't get confused. There was an option for cochlear implant as well. The doctor in fact said no. Let her be natural. However she is. Let her work hard, and she can progress. And then my mother was, she had that positivity, and that's how things progressed.
Right. And after that, you were obviously enrolled in a deaf school in that sense. Was it easy learning in a deaf school, or did deaf teachers, etc., know about did the teachers know Indian Sign Language properly, etc.?
No, they signed very basic. I was in a deaf school, and the like long back. At that time, I did not know. Even my signs were very limited. I did not know proper ISL, so very limited signs.
Got it. And I wanted to know that a lot of deaf people will be watching this episode. What would be your message to India's larger deaf community? Because you are obviously a successful entrepreneur who's overcome a lot in life.
So like how I sell my stuff, I have do not have too many barriers now. I am growing well. The deaf people can come in. The deaf people can come to me and talk to me. They always keep thinking about government or private jobs. No, be confident. You have different options. You need that confidence, and you can progress as well.
Right. And what would be your message to people, the larger audience, like people like me or anybody else who is not deaf? How can we help deaf people integrate more into society?
Hearing people maybe can get interpreters for us. That's a simple solution.
Right. No, and I think you've said something very beautiful because I was reading somewhere that the latest data says that India as a country as a whole only has around 1,000 sign language interpreters in that sense who are trained and certified. So we definitely need more Indian sign language interpreters so that sign language can help a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. It's been a pleasure having you at the India Autism Center. And thank you to Kinjalk as well. And I'm sure a lot of not just deaf individuals, but a lot of hearing individuals will also be more sensitized towards making society more integrated for everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.